And introducing our moderator, once again, the first Vice President and Head of Operations, GMA International, Joseph Jerome Francia. Our panelists, we have Ernest Joy, EJ Panganiban, Superintendent Fleet Safety Trainer of Empire Navigation Incorporated. Also, we have our panelists, Dr. Mary Jane Alvero Almahdi, Group CEO, Prime Group Global, PLAB Asia Pacific Incorporated, and Prime Certification and Inspection Asia Pacific Inc. Joining them is Dino Cavestany, President of Excent One Inc. Last but not the least, we have the CEO and Managing Director of PHILSME Business Network, Trixie Abrenilla. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. We have 30 minutes of this wonderful time together. Magkwentuhan po tayo. What brings us all together this afternoon is one common advocacy, and that is to promote entrepreneurship among our overseas Filipinos or global Pinoys. From a personal perspective po, we've been working with the diaspora community for the last 20, 21 years. At sabi ko sa team namin sa GMA Pinoy TV, our flagship channel, parang nakakapagod na yung tawag na OFW, Overseas Filipino Worker. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. Marami naman sigurong OF, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J. So let's start with letter E, the Overseas Filipino Entrepreneur. And that is what we would like to promote, a mindset change in 2026. Beyond being the W, let us be what we need to be. Let's strive together, especially in the area of entrepreneurship. So without further ado, let's hear from our distinguished panel of speakers. Isang mabilis lang po. Let's start with my friend, the new friend here. He represents the maritime industry, a seafarer for 15 years, but transitioned from being seafarer to a potential CEO in the making. So let's hear a few words from our magiting namang lalayag, si Captain EJ Panganiban.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. And as mentioned, I was a former captain going on board vessels, tankers, bulk carriers, name it. But it's really good to be here and share my insights on how we will be able to transition from being an OFW or a seafarer like me before into an entrepreneur. So I'm delighted to be here with you all.
Thank you, Captain EJ. Now we are also joined today by a multi-awarded CEO, a trailblazing leader in one of the most influential Filipinas in the global corporate arena. She is all the way from Dubai, 35 years in the United Arab Emirates, 3 decades of executive experience. Dr. MJ Almahdi has built a remarkable career grounded in sustainability, strategic growth, and operational excellence. She is known for her expertise in corporate governance, budget and workforce management, and global market development, skills that have propelled her to international recognition. She's the Group CEO of Prime Group, a top-tier quality and compliance solutions provider with operations in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. MJ.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening or good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for coming here. I'm Dr. Mary Jane Alvero Almahdi, and I hope that you will learn from us today. Thank you.
Right, from the seafarer community, from the UAE, with operations in multiple continents, let's move on to someone from Singapore, closer to home. He is the president and CEO of Excent One Incorporated, a seasoned technology leader with global experience in systems integration, enterprise solutions, and digital transformation. Mga kapuso, let's welcome Dino Cavestany.
Hi, my fans is Dino.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Dino Cavestany from Excent One.
It's really nice to see that there's a lot of people today. No, we do hope that whatever it is that we discuss today will provide you with insights that will be helpful with the businesses that you guys are running. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Dino. Now, finally, our last panelist is the CEO and Managing Director of the Philippine SME Business Expo and Network. Congratulations for this wonderful event. Thank you all for joining us. Palakpakan kay Trixie Abrenilla, a dynamic force in the advocacy of empowering Filipino entrepreneurs. As the steward of the legacy built by her late husband, David, Trixie has continued to expand PhilSME's impact, championing meaningful connections, exposure, and opportunities for thousands of SMEs across the country. And under her leadership, PhilSME has strengthened its reputation as the premier platform for Filipino business owners to grow, collaborate, and innovate. Mga kapuso, Ms. Trixie.
Ay, mga kapuso, ang sarap sabihin nun. Joseph, maraming salamat. Actually, this panel is all about the three of them, no? I'm just really here to support and say thank you. It's really good that we have this panel. Na oo nga naman, ba't hindi natin pag-usapan yung OFE, di ba? So, thank you very much. Let's get started.
Okay, thank you, Trixie. Now, let's go straight to the point. Bago i-flash yung reminder, we have 19 minutes and 45 seconds. Clock is ticking. I'll pretend to be Ding Dong Dantes. Question number 1.
Sorry po,
Sige. While they're fixing the chairs. Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. Nag-research po ako kanina. Research says that of the $38 billion last year at least na remittances ng ating mga overseas Filipinos, only 2 to 4% get diverted into investment in businesses. Only 2 to 4%. Napakaliit na amount po compared to the $38 billion. So now let's ask our panelists, what are the biggest challenges overseas Filipinos face when transitioning from employment abroad to running their own businesses here in the Philippines? Oh, let's start. Ladies first po.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you, sir, for the question. So, it's actually like, when I just want to share you a short story, how did we start here in the Philippines. So, basically, our headquarters is in the United Arab Emirates, in which we have 6 branches, plus we have in India, in Japan, and then in 2018, we have opened our first branch in the Philippines, which is in BGC. Then, unfortunately, the pandemic came. So that's the first challenge that we had. Although we had the money to invest, but the building that we are renting, they closed. So we had to go out. And we have invested a lot in the building. Then the second time is that since we are a halal certification body as well, so there were already local halal CBs here. And they did not want to accept us because we are from the international. So what I did was, we applied for different accreditations from different receiving countries so that we know that we will be accepted. See, one of my strategies is like this. I don't look at my competitors. Actually, I don't treat anyone as competitor, but I use them as a reference, what is lacking in them, because I had a market study that it's been a long time. Halal certification here, it's been a long time, and still the products are not being accepted properly in the Middle East. So what was the reason? The reason is the accreditation. Because the Middle East, they need a proper accreditation, which is approved by the Gulf standards and the UAE standards. So now, that is the challenge of our local halal CBs. That's why they can only go to Malaysia or Indonesia. But on the other hand, we cannot go to Malaysia and Indonesia because we do not have the standards. We're just applying. So that's another challenge. Okay. Then also, since I left the Philippines, like more than half of my age, is I lived in Dubai, so it is not easy for me to move around, and I had to use third parties to help us, like retainers and all, and which is now I realize it's too expensive, and when there's problem, they couldn't help us. So those are one of those challenges.
Thank you so much, Doc. Sa kanya, nakahanap ng opportunity. But closer to, let's bring it a little down to earth. Ang comment ngayon, pag nagtatrabaho sa abroad, unahin muna siyempre the survival mode. Kailangan bumili ng pagkain, upa sa bahay, tuition fee, medical needs, may nagkasakit na isa, kasama sa bahay, doon pupunta yung pera. So, from your experience, Captain EJ, 15 years nagtrabaho ka, may malungkot sa dagat, sa karagatan. Anong ginagawa mo habang nag-iisip ka nung one day babalik ka sa Pilipinas o nagsimula ka bang mag-isip magnegosyo habang ikaw ay nasa gitna ng habang kayo pumapalaot sa karagatan?
Yeah, actually, it has to start somewhere. And as a seafarer, I always thought of what will happen to me next if I stop going on board vessels. So the best thing to do, anyway, it's not the age that matters here. What matters is you have to start even just a little. So when I was on board, I was already contemplating on what will I do with my hard-earned money. And that's the first thing that we should always be thinking about. What will I do with my money? I've been on board a vessel, doing hard labor here, far from my family. And I earn big, yes, but where shall I start? So that's the first question. So we have to really be putting up a good foundation before starting a business. And as we go along, we learn things and we execute the plan afterwards.
Okay. Thank you, Captain. Kay Dino naman, tinatanong ko sa kanina, pero siya na lang magkwento sa inyo. He was in Singapore, a preferred destination, first world country, all the conveniences. So, nandun ka na. May opportunity to be a Singaporean citizen already because nag-open up na yung Singapore government. What motivated you to start a business? And then, how has the journey been like coming back to the Philippines and starting on your own?
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Ayan. Sorry. Okay. So rather than the journey, there's a lot of things kasi to talk about, and well, we'd like to make good use of time. So I think people will probably relate more to what I thought about and what I felt in that journey of deciding to move out of Singapore back to the Philippines. So the first thing that you think about is actually the most difficult thing, which is deciding to come back and start a business. Because you think about a lot of things. There's a lot of questions that come up. Will everything that I worked so hard for, go to waste? Everything that I sacrificed, masasayang lang ba? If I come back here and I try something, can I start something that people will believe in? Will I be able to sell? Will I be able to build a team? These are the things that go through your mind. And it's a little bit more difficult for OFWs coming back because, like what some of the panelists said here, the reality is as OFWs, you spend a lot of time overseas, which means that you lose out on things that you would need to start a business here. You don't develop a network. You don't have access to the market. So majority of the time that you spend overseas, you build a network of either other OFWs or foreigners. But these are not the people that you will need when you start a business here. So really, if you're looking at starting something here, which is what I did, I looked for the right partners. It's really these people who can cover those gaps. Because without the ability to cover those gaps, then you're not going to get anywhere. So these gaps really are for people who can help you with starting that business or help you run that business. They could also be companies that you could collaborate with. The idea is to cover those bases. And for me, the turning point was we found companies who were willing to work with us to grow us from the startup that we were to the product development company that we are today.
Thank you, Dino. For Trixie, since you are involved in the ecosystem. Marami kang alam na pathways to how entrepreneurs in general can thrive in this environment. What is your maybe top one advice to overseas Filipinos getting into entrepreneurship? What kind of support system should they be looking at in terms of when they look at opportunities in the Philippines right now?
Joseph, the data shows that more and more OFWs are able to plan better in terms of when they come home for good and start their businesses. So sabi nila, may mga parang top 3 na mga businesses na tinitingnan nila. So F&B, we have something that has to do with the digital economy. Kasi, di ba, as, kunyari, yung mga mini grocery stores, payment yan, digital na yung mga ganyan. And then franchising opportunities. And I think franchise could be one of the best options that they have because you're buying a system that already works. No, but it doesn't mean that okay ka na, iwan mo na lang dyan, iwan mo sa kapatid mo, sa kakilala mo, and then alis ka na, it's not gonna work that way. But for the tip, I would say that it really pays off to come home once in a while. Sabi nga niya, di ba? You have to see here, not over there. See right here what are the businesses that are available to you. At the same time, something that is aligned with you. Kasi ang dami po. Kaya nga po, for this edition, I think we have 20% of our exhibitors are into franchising. Before, it was just like 10, 12%. Now we doubled it. So that's my tip. You really have to, if you can, come home, see it for yourself, because no one else will really be able to see if it's really for you until you see them face to face, until you study, until you ask around. I think that's the best paghahanda, ika nga, when you come home.
Okay, thank you, Trixie. So our panelists have had the benefit of being exposed to first world systems. They got training. They got exposed to a lot of sophisticated things. Now let's talk and ask Dr. MJ, anong role ng education? I see that you're very well accomplished in terms of educational accomplishments. Anong advice nyo in terms of continuous training and educating oneself? At paano yun nakakatulong sa pagiging mas epektibong entrepreneur?
So education is our flagship when we go abroad. Especially, for example, in the Middle East, very rare dati yung female. So I was the first female engineer in the United Arab Emirates, 1992. So we've been part of the Burj Khalifa from ground zero till the 828 meters height. And then all the 80% of the evolution in the United Arab Emirates, it is being handled by geoscience testing laboratory before. Then we have expanded into a group of companies. So under the group now, we have around 11 companies, and we are helping a lot of exporters to enter the global market through halal certification, ISO certification. We provide training for them, capacity building. Now, even the government, they come to us to ask help for the development of the small and medium entrepreneurs, like from different regions, because in fairness to our government, the government has provided them fund to pay for the certification. They were the one who funded them, even for the laboratory testing. So that's only my opinion, because firsthand I experienced. That's why now I think very soon our export now will come up again. So inshallah.
All right, inshallah. Thank you, Doc. Palakpakan po natin. Please go ahead. Let's celebrate the achievement of Dr. MJ representing Filipinas in the global workforce. And now giving back also this way, sharing her experience with us. Now my next question is for Captain MJ. It says, according to research, that it takes 5 years for a Filipino overseas worker to try to start building capital. Kasi paano kung magdinegosyo walang kapital? Kasi unahin mo muna yung siguro pagbayad sa investment mo, kung paano naka-abroad. In your experience, how many years did it take bago ka nakaipon ng konti para magsimula ka na? And then I'll ask Trixie later what opportunities are there to complement capital building aside from your own savings.
Okay. Of course, it will be depending on how much you earn, right? But as for me, being a captain on board a vessel, it just took me 2 years to come up with the money that I will be using for my investment. For everyone's knowledge, I own a chain of laundry businesses in Cavite. And yeah, for me, it was only 2 years, but it was not that easy to really come up with a business idea of going into a laundry. So let me just share this to you because the first thing that came into my mind was to build my own restaurant, a Japanese restaurant. But then I ended up going to a laundry business. So again, so it's
franchise ka ba?
franchising was one of my thoughts before, but then why not come up with my own? So that's what I did. And yeah, for me it was 2 years. But for everyone here, it may be depending on how much you earn, but what really matters is how much you spend. So we really have to be frugal on spending our hard-earned money.
Okay, thank you, Trixie. Aside from yung personal savings, that takes a little time. Ang reality po niyan, mas mataas ang, on the average, yung income ng ating mga seafarers. So, siguro iba yung kalagayan ninyo. So, you're a little more blessed that way. So, how else can overseas Filipinos tap into other sources of potential capital if they want to start businesses?
Sir, I would always have to say PHILSME. You know, what I mean is, dito po, umikot lang tayo.
Yeah, tama.
There are several
Financing.
financing companies right here. At nakita po namin, actually, padami sila ng padami. So we actually have to put limit in the number of companies that we can accept. No? But, yun nga, nakita ko na parang, uy, padoble ka ng padoble every year. So meaning to say, sabi nga nila ngayon, di ba, naghahanap ng uutang. Hindi na problema yung sino yung magpapautang eh. So, that's one. Iba-iba po yung mga rates nila. But again, we provide the platform where they can have options. So, but of course, I can't just speak for myself. So we have here, Sir Dino.
Here you go.
And I believe
Yeah.
it's their
Right.
It's their fourth time. Nung nagsimula sila sa amin, hindi na sila umaalis. So Sir Dino, baka matulungan mo ako dun sa
that's
ano
right.
pa?
So,
Ano pang pwede?
in your case, how did you raise capital to start your business?
We might not be the good peg for that kasi we bootstrapped our way.
Ayan.
So for I guess I think everyone knows what it means to bootstrap. Now we didn't really get an external investor. So in other words, ginapang namin. Now when we started the company back in 2011, obviously as an IT company, you don't have customers on day one. So what we did as a means to augment and to pay for the employees that we had back then, nag-freelance kaming mga owners. So we did freelancing work. In this case, we were blessed in the sense that we had access to the Singapore market. So we did freelancing work over there. And then we funneled money to fund operations here in the Philippines. And we did that for about 2 years. Then we started getting customers on our own. And again, we bootstrapped our way all the way until about 2018. Only then did we start inviting private investors, people who we actually know, people who we worked with before. So I was formerly from Accenture, so we had friends from Accenture who were OFWs as well, and they were looking for places where they could invest their money. And they decided that we were good enough, that we were trustworthy enough for them to invest money. So it's a couple of different places, but I think hard work still is the best. Kumbaga, lahat naman is magagawa ng paraan if willing. Kasi kung hindi willing, then you'll end up with excuses.
Joseph, if I may, kasi puro pera yung pinag-uusapan, no? Cash, ganyan, savings. But you know what? Another way is wala kang pera, you use your talent.
Yes.
Diba? Partnerships, yun pa, isa sa PhilSME. Nami mong partners, you don't necessarily have to put out money there. Yung talent mo, yun yung lagyan mo ng monetary value. Pwede ka mag-business.
Correct. So network your way, people.
Sir Joseph,
MSME today and tomorrow?
may I-
Yes, please, Doc.
Okay, so that is a clear example of my experience. Yes, I did not have any investment, but there was this four Arab Emiratis who trusted me, not my husband.
Okay.
So they are from, because they always say, because my husband is Emirati, that's why I am successful. No, it's not. It is from my hard work. And I will not accept that one. Sorry.
Very good. Thank you, Doc MJ.
So up to now,
Hindi-
they're still my partners.
I think congratulations. There's a meme on Facebook that says, maraming naiahon sa kahirapan sa Siargao. But anyway, thank you, Doc MJ, for waving the Philippine flag proudly. Now, we're almost running out of time. So, for 2026, what is your one-word advice, bet for 2026 potential entrepreneurs for global Filipinos and even the dependents here in the Philippines? Let's start now with you, Captain. Just one word. One word with a few words of explanation aloud.
So my one word would be start. When you say start, you have to start now. It's not tomorrow, it's not next year. You have to start now. So you have to start looking for avenues where you can invest your money in. And this is a very good spot to get it. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay, since he already mentioned start, so when you start it right. So you have to comply with the requirements of if you're exporting, requirements of the receiving countries. You have to be knowledgeable. So education also plays a very important role, and the capacity building of your employees that will deliver your products. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Dina?
For me, it will be inspired. Yeah, be inspired. Look around. You see here, there's many different businesses that are trying to start or offering ways to start. And different businesses will grow at different rates. Don't compare yourselves to the big head chargers over there. Everyone has different rates at which they grow. If you look at yourself and you look at where you are today compared to where you were last year, use that as an inspiration to show that you've grown from how you were in the past. So be inspired.
All right. And then
Be
Trixie?
inspired. With me, siguro, i-wrap up natin, sir, no? So I would say, start it right with all your might, especially when you're inspired. Ganda yon para maganda yung momentum natin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our panel. Thank you all. Hopefully, we can have a little more time next year. This has been a wonderful experience. We hope that we can share your success stories, including the struggles getting into success on GMA Pinoy TV very soon. So maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
And let's smile for a photo op. Thank you so much to our panel. Grabe, ang importanteng, a very important conversation. Thank you for providing us insights on how OFWs can become business owners. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you. Some tokens and our certificates of appreciation to our panel, of course. Smile for the camera.